It's Tuesday, August 23rd, and this is Drive Check, a Cardfight Vanguard podcast. You guys hate each other that much?
Welcome back to this week's episode of the Drive Check podcast.
That is not how it works.
Yeah, so, Cole's doing something.
Cole had to tutor somebody?
No, he's relieving himself.
Oh, no, that's disgusting.
What happened?
You were relieving yourself.
Yeah.
I said that's disgusting.
It's okay. We'll have another fake conversation and then you'll come back in, okay? You ready?
Mm-hmm.
You're ready, Will?
I'm not having any fake conversations. I keep it real, brother. I keep it real.
Welcome back to this week's episode of the Drive Check podcast.
No. Edit it out. Canceled.
This week's episode, we'll be discussing who has the longer sword, Royal Paladins or Shadow Paladins.
Gold Paladins. Anyways, it doesn't matter because this episode's going to be a disaster. Because I had to run 8 miles after work tonight. And
have you seen the movie 8 Mile? Was it like that?
No, but I have been to 8 Mile Road in Detroit, so there you go. So
you didn't get into a rap battle?
No, but I was keeping it real. But I also made the mistake of not planning things properly, and I had to, after I ran the 8 miles, I then had to go to the grocery store to get food so I would have something to eat for dinner, but I didn't get to eat dinner because then I had to come home and take care of my dog and my cat, and then I had to talk to my mom on the phone, and I was so mean to her because I was so hangry from hunger and anger, whatever. That's the word, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Then I was like, oh, I got to get home. And then my dog was walking slow, and I was dying. And then when I finally did get my steakhouse wrap, which if you are ever at a giant grocery, do not buy the Boar's Head Steakhouse wrap. It's not bueno. I didn't enjoy it. So that's your lesson.
Okay.
Are we going to talk about some Vanguard this week?
Please.
Yes.
Are we going to get there?
Yeah.
All right. So has anyone actually played Vanguard besides me? I played some with Colin over Skype over the weekend. Still not doing so good with those link jokers. I don't know what I did to offend them, but boy, I'm just not getting the wins out of my deck lately. But what have you guys been up to?
I mean, I played you, didn't I?
No, you.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we played on Saturday morning.
Oh.
Yep. And
okay.
That was the first game kind of sucked. The second was really cool.
Who were you playing? You weren't playing Grand Blue. Wait, why am I having such a hard time?
I played Dimension Police for both.
Dimension Police. I think I lost both of those games too, didn't I?
Yeah, the first one was pretty quick, and the second one, well, that was a really long one.
Yeah, because I locked your wrong column.
Yeah.
You had that one unit that you could keep resting to give power-ups to somebody else, and I didn't lock that. I didn't know Omega lock that one, and I might have won if I had actually done that. So, Jack, you moved in on Saturday, right?
Yeah, but I went on, because when did we play, Cole?
I don't know, man.
Okay, because we played yesterday.
Yeah. Was it yesterday?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it was yesterday.
Okay, so yesterday, and then also before I moved, I played.
And none of us have been on any mind-altering substances in the past week, so this is just how sad reality is.
But when you go back to 2 weeks, though, does that change?
That has nothing to do with anything. We're talking about what games we've played recently, sir.
I think, okay. Anyways.
So you played with Cole. Have you played with anybody else?
Yeah, I just said I played on, I think, Wednesday, Thursday, before I moved.
How was it? What'd you play?
Jesse. I just said that. Kagura, Shadow Paladins, the 2 decks I own.
Did you win them all?
No. He brought Nova Grapplers, and I didn't even know he owned that deck. And so I It wasn't fun to
Surprise.
play against.
Blaukleisers, Blau Krugler.
Victor, the G one.
And no one plays blouse anymore.
No,
Except for
which is
Cole.
sad because they're pretty cool.
Cole loves his blouse. All right, so we do have an errata this week, which we're gonna clear up the about G assist, because we had the question of if when you G assist and you have to take 2 cards from your G zone and from your hand, do those become public knowledge to your opponent? And the ruling is that the cards are put into the exclusion zone, which is not a bind zone or anything else. It's an exclusion zone, which means they're removed from the game, and they are put face up. So they are visible to both players. So yes, if your 2 cards that you take from your G zone become visible to your opponent when you G assist.
Yes. So future reference for you, Will, don't get rid of Sabres.
No, I should not use Sabres in my G assist.
Unless you play 2 of them and then you surprise them with the second one, because they think they can play a grade 2 game and then they can't.
If
That's
you have
true.
room, though.
Well, yeah, my G zone's super tight these days with 4 Amnesty Messiahs and 3 Exilix Messiah. So
You want to know what else is tight?
what, Jack? Your
This
wallet?
new set that's coming out.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so disappointed by set 8.
Yeah.
Well, first off, the Puerto Rico regionals were in Caguas, Puerto Rico on August 20th and 21st. And we know that there were winners because we saw those posted on Twitter, but they have not updated the website with what the decks were. So when those are updated, we will look at which decks and pick out a good deck for you guys to emulate and see if we can do commentary on that. So we'll have that in our next episode. And then the other news, which Cole has been telling us all about. Set 8, Cole?
Yeah. Set 8, all the cards have been announced or leaked, except for the SP packs, or the cards that would be included in the SP clan packs. Those, they had like a variety show, and I guess the host was holding up fanned hands of what they would look like. And I remember this specifically because they weren't full 5 cards like most of them are, especially the Link Joker. It had, I think it had the crit, and then it had, I don't know if it was Amnesty or Exilix, and then it had the grade 3, but it was only the 3 of those that the guy was holding. And all the Grand Blue Night Rose ones looked real pretty.
Well,
So,
Grand Blue's garbage, so nobody cares about that.
why you gotta hate?
So, for folks who don't know, SP packs are packs that are really, really extra rare. And if you pull an SP pack, every card in the pack is an SP, a secret parallel print of the art. So they're all of the highest rarity cards. And so you're basically getting 5 of the highest rarity cards in the set in the secret parallel printing in one pack. Mm-hmm. So it's really like striking gold. We'll go over set 8 more at another time when we're focusing on that. But I do want to express my disappointment right up front with the G Guardian that has been announced for the Link Jokers. I just think that every other G Guardian out there has been like super beneficial to people. And then this one, it's like, well, maybe I'm wrong. You know what? Life proved me wrong. But I just don't think that this Link Joker G Guardian is doing anyone any favors. But we'll go over that more later when we go over set 8. I just want to put my disappointment right up front. And we've talked about that a little bit amongst me, Jack, and Cole, and I don't know. So for tonight's program, we have each selected some cards from each of the clans to highlight and talk about as our top picks from this set, and we'll give a reason why we picked these ones. And we're going to do them each in order. because I am the most prepared, and then this gives Jack and Cole some extra time to actually research the cards that they're selecting so that they can talk about them intelligently. Does that sound about right, guys?
I mean, I did prepare.
I'm joking.
This time I'm prepared.
I was born ready.
Jack, whispers don't work in podcasts. So speak up.
I was born ready.
All right. So I'm going to start with...
Did you get it that time?
I'm just going to pronounce this clan name the way that I think it should be pronounced, and whatever, I'll deal with the consequence. We actually had a not native Japanese speaker, but an actual Japanese speaker and somebody who's lived in Japan for, I think, at least 10 years pronounce Murakumo for us. The main thing that he pointed out is that there actually is not any accentuation on any of the syllables, so you should pronounce it as flatly as possible. But I think, Cole, you'll agree that the audio, his audio, did make it sound more like Murakumo than Murakumo.
Yeah, it did, and it sounded kind of like a bit of a mix. I'm just saying that Murakumo is what the English voice actors and actresses say.
Well, those voice actors don't know anything.
Oh, I know.
They most definitely all are very dedicated to the game, so they most definitely know how to pronounce everything.
Well, I mean, they do have the line readers there to help them with pronunciations.
What do you know about voice acting,
for that.
Cole? What secret life have you been...
Yeah, do you have a secret?
No,
I'm actually Aichi Sendo.
See, yeah, dude, that's why my voice sounds exactly like him.
Jack, your roommate is totally Aichi Sendo, so whatever.
He is. He's blue hair and everything.
So, to talk about the Murakumos, first and foremost, I want to get right out front that I did not select Ambush Demon Stealth Dragon Shibaraku Buster as one of my picks because the cost to accomplish this card's, so it's a stride card, the cost to accomplish its ability, which is only once per turn, and Generation Break 2, so you have to have 2 face-up cards in your G-Zone, is Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 2, discard a card from your hand, and return a card from your drop zone to your deck. That one's not so bad. But you have to do all of that just so you can give a rear guard a drive check, a single drive check. And it just seems that that's a lot of cost. I'm not interested in that. Nobody I know can afford those kinds of costs.
But the dropping a card from the hand is kind of mitigated because you get to drop something you don't want or need, and in hopes of getting an extra 5k, maybe a trigger, and like a better card than the one you dropped. That's why.
And technically also in paying the cost of Soul Blasting 2 and discarding one from your hand, if you do them in that order, you can then take one of those and put it back in your deck. I don't care. I don't like this card. So for my first card, I selected Ambush Demon Stealth Rogue Yasue Tenma. So Yasue's ability... also I wanted to point out, I didn't do things that... required that you pull a card with the Shadow Stitch keyword on it. Some of these cards do have the Shadow Stitch keyword, which, if you will recall, means that it's when your attack doesn't hit. That's when the Shadow Stitch ability kicks off. But I didn't do anything that required that you call a card that has the Shadow Stitch ability, because as Cole found out when he and I were playing, if you don't have a deck that's full of cards with those keywords, sometimes those abilities just don't work for you. If you actually activate his ability, so you can activate his ability without having Shadow Stitched, and it gives Yasue Shadow Stitch when you do it. So you basically want to start out your turn by doing the Persona Flip of Yasue, which is all you have to do to pay the cost, and it gives him Shadow Stitch, auto on the Vanguard Circle, Counterblast 1. So the total cost of the Shadow Stitch skill is Counterblast 1. At the end of the battle that your unit attacked a Vanguard, if the attack did not hit, you may pay the cost. If you do, search your deck for up to one card with the same card name as the unit that attacked, call it to the Rearguard Circle, and shuffle your deck. So it's just a very simple, easy way to call out when you miss, you can call any card out. So you can basically either restand somebody if you call out a rear guard that's already been rested in the front row, or get anybody else out, and it doesn't have to be an open rear guard circle. And so that basically means if your opponent has guarded, then you have a free opportunity to have a stand and have somebody else come out and attack. So I like that. It's a simple, easy to understand effect, and it's a nice trick to pull. I also wanted to talk about the G Guardian for the Murakumos, which all of these dudes have names that are really, really hard to pronounce. So I will just do my best. But their G Guardian is Ambush Demon Stealth Rogue Shishiyuzuki. Shishiyuzuki. And when I really like this G Guardian, like literally if G Guardians were cross clan, I would actually consider grabbing this one to use in another clan.
That's what Extreme Fight is for.
I don't play Extreme Fight, only you do.
I don't think anyone does.
So when this unit is placed on the guard circle during the battle that your vanguard was attacked by your opponent's vanguard, so that is one limitation there. It has to be a vanguard on vanguard attack. Choose up to one of your rear guards, move it to the guard circle, and that unit gets shield plus 5,000 until the end of the battle. So if you have a 10,000 shield rear guard on your field, you can basically pick it up and put it onto the guard circle and give it another 5,000. So now you have two 15,000s on the guard circle. If you have a 5,000 rear guard, you can bring it up and it'll be a 10,000. But even better than that, search your deck for up to one card with the same card name as that unit, call it to the guard circle, and shuffle your deck. So you basically get the 15,000 from the G Guard. You can get either 10 or 15,000 from the rear guard you take from your field, and then you can get another 5 or 10,000 from your deck. None of this is taken from your hand. So if anybody has skills that block cards that are taken from your hands from guarding, that doesn't apply because one is taken from your field and one is taken from your deck. So I really like that. Easy way to power up your G Guard as opposed to the way that the Link Jokers got done, which was, well, whatever, a story for another day. All right, Dueling Dragon King Zangeki, which, Cole, you corrected me that Zangeki is all capital letters.
Yep. Zangeki!
I don't know why, although he is an Abyss Dragon, so, cool for him. Counterblast 1 at the beginning of your opponent's main phase, so this is on your opponent's turn, not your turn. If you have a card named Dueling Dragon Zambaku is all capital letters as well, in your soul, you may pay the cost. Remember, just a Counterblast 1. If you do, choose one of your opponent's vanguards, and until the end of turn, I love this, it gets, when this unit attacks, choose a card from your hand, and you may discard it. If you do not, this unit gets drive -2 until end of that battle. So if they haven't strided, then they basically, if they don't discard a card from their hand, they get 0 drive checks. If they have strided and they don't discard a card, they only get 1 drive check. So that's really cool. It puts pressure, reduces their ability to guard the next turn because you're reducing hand size on them. And it's until the end of the turn. So that's basically if they have, for whatever reason, a restanding Vanguard, Kageros and other folks like that.
What do you mean for whatever reason? Almost every clan has a restanding.
Link Joker doesn't have a restanding Vanguard.
Well, all the good ones do.
Oh, whatever. Go eat college garbage. Nobody likes you.
But
Oracle Think Tank doesn't have a restanding Vanguard, as far as I know.
Exactly. Like I said.
Anyways, if not Zambaku. If Zangeki is not on the Vanguard, so if it's placed on the rearguard circle, for a Counterblast 1 and retire Zambaku, you can search your deck for up to 2 cards named Dueling Dragon. Oh, yep. Sorry. Counterblast 1, retire Zangeki. Then you can search your deck for up to 2 cards named Dueling Dragon Zanbaku. Put a card from among them into your soul, so you get to soul charge that Zanbaku for a future Zangeki. And then call the remaining card to the rearguard circle, shuffle your deck, and at the end of the turn, return the unit called with this effect to your hand.
This sounds confusing, but that's cool because they can attack and then you have them in your hand. Because Zanbaku's a grade 3?
I don't think Zanbaku is a grade 3.
Because if it were, then you could just use it as stride fodder.
It's a grade 3.
Oh, there you go. Stride fodder.
Well, then it becomes stride fodder. There you go.
Also, I do like, just like whenever something reads like if they do this, then they get an effect, and then if not, then they have to do something else. Like, I just think those are like really cool, and like you kind of have interesting like strategies or whatever to like get around being able to allow them to do that. So like if your opponent doesn't have a hand, then they can't get drive checks, essentially. Like, so it's like that kind of thing.
And yeah, and here's an interesting thing about old Mr. Zanbaku. First off, he came from EBO 1, Comic Style Volume 1. But his deal is at the beginning of your opponent's ride phase. So once again, on your opponent's turn, if Zanbaku is your Vanguard, and your opponent has a grade 3 or greater Vanguard, your opponent may choose a card from his or her hand and discard it. So force discard again. If they don't discard, then they can't ride at all. So they can't cross ride, they can't break ride, unless they discard. So once again, it forces a discard.
Could they stride?
I like that.
Yes.
They can stride.
Card.
Yeah, they can stride without discarding a card, but they cannot cross ride or break ride.
I just like the whole concept of it because like Shadows have one where it's like your opponent has to retire 2. If they don't, then they can't guard this attack. So It's just like really, as Cole found out the other day, it's really powerful when you like take away their ability to meet the cost, so they have to deal with the powerful effect. Mm-hmm. Also, one thing I discovered, side note, Kagero has one that's really similar to the Shadow Paladin one.
What do you mean?
The Diablo.
I don't know what Diablo does. What does Diablo do?
This is irrelevant, but
isn't that the stride?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, it's you counterblast 2. This unit gets plus 10k and a crit, and then when this unit attacks, you may retire 3 of your rear guards. Your opponent retires 2 of theirs. If they do not, then they cannot guard this attack from their hand.
Yeah, nice.
So yeah,
all right.
It's like similar.
Back to reality.
Yes.
This night shall become deathly cold to the cockles of the heart. Guess who says that?
Richard Simmons.
I'm gonna guess Awakohime.
Stealth Fiend Awakohime?
Yes.
You are right. It's not Shia LaBeouf, no. I love the art on Stealth Fiend Awakohime, so I definitely recommend it. It's Awakohime. She's like a frost lady. She's a ghost, but she's like an ice ghost. But the reason I chose her, she's a GB1. You have to take the rear guard that boosted her and put it on the bottom of your deck, which you're going to do for your Murakumos anyways, is put your rear guards back into the deck. And at the end of the battle that she attacked a Vanguard, if the attack did not hit, which is basically Shadow Stitch. Oh, it does have the Shadow Stitch keyword. Sorry about that. You may pay the cost. If you do, choose one of your Vanguards, and until the end of the turn, it gets continuous during the battle that this unit attacks. Your opponent cannot call grade 0 cards from hand to the guard circle. So it gives your Vanguard the Silent Tom ability. And even though a lot of people kind of think that that's becoming irrelevant, I have played a number of games where somebody didn't have a perfect guard in their hand and they could use a G Guardian but they still had to supplement the G Guardian with cards from their hand. So taking away the ability to call grade zeros from their hand, it's still really helpful. So you're basically gifting the Vanguard with that ability. And once again, it's until the end of the turn. So it's not next battle or anything like that. So that's why I selected her. She's a common, so it should not be that hard to get your hands on a Wakohime. And you can use that to support your Vanguard attacks. That's the reason I picked her. So those were my 4. I believe, Cole, you are next, and you're going to be covering the Megacolonies.
Yes.
Spooky bugs, Battleborgs, Beetleborgs.
Yeah, Beetleborgs, dude. First one on my list, in no particular order, is the lawless mutant deity
Obitrandus, man.
Obitrandus. I can't see the I hidden behind the T. Okay. I think it's the main the main stride for Megacolony in this set.
Well, that depends. Is it the GR?
Yes.
Then it is.
I mean, like,
Okay.
yeah, okay. So, choose a card from your hand and discard it. Your opponent cannot call his or her units to the rearguard circle until end of your opponent's next turn. This includes, which is pretty crazy. Yes, it's expensive.
All right, Cole, you have to say that all again because you just cut out halfway.
I didn't hear any of that read. Also, give more energy this time.
Okay. Director Jack is instructing me to give more energy. All right, so, yeah, that guy's name. His ability is activated Generation Break 2, Counterblast 2, and choose a card from your hand and discard
Oh, God.
his or her units to the rearguard until end of your opponent's next turn. This includes Superior Call.
I don't know what is going on with Cole's mic. Boy, oh boy. You're going to have to talk louder, Cole. I think it's just like cutting out because you're trying to talk too quietly.
I'm not.
Loud and proud.
One more time. Start from Generation Break 2.
Generation Break 2, Counterblast 2, and choose a card from your hand and discard it. Your rearguard circle until end of your...
Why? I can't even do anything about it. For some reason, Skype hates it when Cole says your opponent cannot call his or her units to rearguard circle. For some reason, it keeps cutting that phrase out. And that's the most important part.
You know what's funny is it cut it out for you too.
Oh, absolutely. It's just something on Cole's side. It's his computer or something. I have no idea.
Like I didn't hear you say anything either.
Well, luckily I record individually on my side, so it's captured there.
Luckily, I was making a joke.
Oh, Jack, I ever since you've gone to college, I don't know who you are anymore. You're not the sweet boy that I used to know, and I'm going to call your mother.
I have to be rebellious.
Anyways, this card, I think we can all agree, is real cool.
Well, I would agree if I knew what it did because I didn't hear what it did.
Okay.
Shut up, Jack.
So the next time you play Mega Colonies, you see what happens and you'll suffer because you won't be able to call any rear guards to the rear guard circles during your turn.
That was funny. People playing Mega Colony. That's a good one.
Would you stop? Cole's going to build a Mega Colony deck, man, for cheap. All right. So I like this one. I wish... Well, it's kind of anti-Link Joker. It'll work really well against Messiahs. Because if Messiahs can't call... If they don't have already a bunch of rear guards on the field and they can't call rear guards, then they've got no fuel for their power-ups.
Well, they have... generally, they'll have rear guards on the field. They'll just all be rested. But then when you...
No. If the way I play Messiahs, if I don't have... if I'm not at grade 3, or if I'm going first and I just got to grade 3, I'm not calling rear guards.
Yeah, it's a waste of resources.
But this is a Gen Break 2, though, so it wouldn't be happening early on anyways.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, and if you're playing against Mega Colony, you know to prepare for it now. Or like you would if you knew what the card did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, if you see Mega Colony, make sure to fill up your rear guard circles ASAP. But okay, let's be honest. what it is really effective at is any cards that have an on-call ability.
Like
They won't be able to use those.
Gold Paladin.
Gold Paladin's Arrestor Messiah, which is just this really good Link Joker card, which I always blast you guys with, where he gets the plus 2,000 and self-lock on call.
You just really want me and Cole to build Megacolony, don't you?
I want you guys to build Megacolony, yes.
Just to annoy you.
Anyways, Cole, what is your next card? Let's keep it moving, folks.
The second stride for Megacolony is Deity Darkface.
Oh, wow. I'm just going to help out, folks. It's Merciless Mutant Deity Darkface. All right. Let's go for an ability. Give it a try, Cole.
Dark Device. Dark Device is active when your opponent has no stand units in the same column as this unit. From your G zone and turn it face up. Choose up to the same number of your opponent's rear guards as the number of face-up cards named Merciless.
Can we just pause for a second? Is this even worth editing for you?
I'm just going to repeat everything that he just said, but we're going to leave it in for entertainment value.
Okay, cool.
Dude, it's got me in my darn mic. Okay.
Time to get a snowball.
Yeah. But anyway, your opponent's rear guards as the Luba.
Oh goodness!
Choose up to the same number of your opponent's rear guards as the number of face-up cards named Merciless Mutant Deity Darkface. Of your opponent's next turn, they get continuous rear guard. This unit cannot intercept and cannot be chosen by your card. Each rear guard chosen with this effect, this unit gets power plus 5,000 until end of turn.
All right, so that our listeners can actually understand what Cole just said. Once per turn, as long as this card is on the Vanguard circle, which it will be because it is a grade 4, it's a stride. It has the Dark Device ability, which is active when your opponent has no standing units in the same column as basically your Vanguard. So as long as the Vanguard and the Vanguard booster are both rested, you counterblast 1, choose a face down card from your G zone, so any face down card from your G zone, and turn it face up. Choose up to the same number of your opponent's rear guard as the number of face up cards named Merciless Mutant Deity Darkface in your G zone. So you would want to persona flip this particular gentleman. And until the end of your opponent's next turn, they get continuous for their rear guards. The unit cannot intercept and cannot be chosen by your card effects and costs. And for each rear guard chosen with this effect, this unit gets power plus 5,000 until the end of the turn. So basically, if they have grade 2s in the left-hand column and the right-hand column, and you have 2 face-up Merciless Mutant Deity Dark Faces, those grade 2s can't intercept. Correct, Cole?
Correct.
And what's even more entertaining is if you have 4 face-up Merciless Mutant Deity Dark Faces, you can pick 2 whole columns worth, and the important part cannot be chosen by your card effects and costs.
First, it can't be 4 because it's in the G zone, so it can only be 3.
The stride card counts as being in the G zone.
No.
Does it? I didn't think it did.
No,
Are you sure?
Yes.
No?
We went over this.
It counts for gen break, but it doesn't count as being in the.
Oh, okay. Well, all right, 3.
3.
So you can have 3, and it's not chosen, cannot be chosen by card effects and costs. So, I only play Link Jokers anymore, so the only way I can think about this is Sacrifice Messiah, which has the effect of if one of my cards is locked, it can lock itself. I wouldn't be able to do that because that's an effect, and I wouldn't be able to choose that effect. But I think with the Bermuda Triangles, if things are in harmony and you can give power boosts to the cards that are in harmony, you wouldn't be able to choose the cards for that.
It's also really similar to a Dragonic Blade Master Titan. in that it gets an effect based on how many of the same name card you have face up in the G zone.
Yes.
If we're going by that, it's the same as Excalibur.
Yes. And you get that plus 5,000 for every card that you curse with this particular methodology.
But it's most likely you probably wouldn't even play 4 of them because there's no point because only 2 units can intercept anyways.
True,
So-
but you can also get that extra 5,000 power, and you can.
Which, yeah. But you could also have options in your G zone, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a Megacolony player. No one
It
is.
just depends on what you.
Okay, for the rest of this episode, there will be no more hate on Megacolony because you're going to be crying real hard when Megacolony tops World Championships this year, and you were pooping all over them. You know what's going to happen? And Cole, you can write this down in blood. In November, you and I are going to get a Facebook message from Jack, and he's going to be like, "Oh, I have to sell my Dark Paladins, because Shadow Paladins, because I need to buy a Megacolony deck. Oh man, they're so lit." I know it's coming. All right.
No, I'll sell them for other things because I'm in college now and I need to be cool.
Well, you got a long way to go for that. All right. What's your next Megacolony dude? Give it a try, Cole. Give it a try.
Okay.
Just do that one. Don't do the honorable mentions just so we don't have to deal with this.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
But you can name the honorable mentions.
Yeah,
Just
just-
don't read them.
Okay. This is the G Guardian for Megacolony. It's Mutant Deity Fortress.
Oh god.
Counterblast 1. When this unit is placed on the Guardian, during the battle, your Vanguard is attacked by your opponent's Vanguard. You may pay the cost. If you do, rest all of the units in your. It gets shield plus 5,000 for every 2 of your opponent's units at rest until end of that battle.
All right, just to interpret from Cole's mysterious alien tongue that he's learned to speak, Counterblast 1, when this unit is placed on the guard circle during the battle, your Vanguard is attacked by your opponent's Vanguard. So once again, it's Vanguard on Vanguard violence. You may pay the cost. If you do, rest all of the units in your opponent's back row, and this unit gets shield plus 5,000 for every 2 of your opponent's units at rest until end of that battle.
Hey.
So if all 6 of if this is the last battle of the turn, if all 6 of theirs are rested, then you get plus 15. And if it's not the last battle of the turn, you're taking away all their boosts.
So I just wanted to mention that rearguard lives matter too, Will. We need to end this Vanguard on Vanguard violence.
I know.
Rearguard lives matter.
Well, that's why the mega colonies are putting them to rest, so that they can't be fraught in battle any longer. All right.
Anyway, on to
Cole, you had 2 honorable mention cards.
I think he's
Yes.
Oh,
My 2 honorable mention cards. They are A rank mutant Sen
Giraffe.
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 Rare. I'm really not in the mood. Sizzling mutant deity Waspy Tail. And
And you
pretty
picked
cool.
that one. You just picked that one for the name, right? Because that's a pretty sick name, bro.
The name, the art's pretty cool, and then she does something which I don't remember anymore. But they're both on hit, so they're a little
Anyways, on to Great Nature.
on to
Yeah.
nature.
First off is Omniscience Dragon Afonk. It's Counterblast 1 once per turn. Choose a face down card from your G zone, turn it face up. Choose any number of your rear guards, and until the end of the turn, they get this unit cannot be retired by card effects. For each rear guard chosen with this effect, this unit gets plus 4,000 power. So this is really good if you have a full field. He gets plus. I can't do math. 2,400, or no, 22,000 or 20,000. I did it. And because like Great Nature's effects deal with retiring the stuff, and you can't retire the stuff if they say they can't be retired. So it makes a lot of your costs for your regards a lot less detrimental, which is really cool.
But you still get to use those costs,
Yes.
even though you can't force retire a card.
Yeah, because it says they're all worded retire. It's not worded retire a card, and if you do, they all say retire a card and then do this. So the game still thinks it's retired, even though it's not.
I'll have to see that in play.
Okay, next is Tri Ruler Cat. You choose a card from your hand, so it's a perfect card, but it's not like the unflipping perfect card. Instead, it's so when this unit's put into the drop zone from rear guard during your end phase, you may pay the cost. If you do, you search for another card named Tri Ruler Cat and put it into your hand, and then shuffle your deck. So basically, it allows you to so if you have a perfect guard and you don't have a need for a perfect guard, you need to call something else that's extra to retire. For a counterblast 1, you can just replenish the card and add it back to your hand, which I think is pretty cool because it kind of just goes really well with the genius strategy, wink wink, that Great Nature plays with. Oh, I cracked myself up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I feel like we've lost all of our spirit. We need to get it back.
No, I know. So this card can be used to boost, and then if you use it to boost,
well, it's not even boost. It's if it's retired. So like if it's used for like the cost of some of your other Great Nature cards.
Cool.
Yes.
But you can only do that so many times before you run out of Tri-Ruler Cats.
Yeah.
In your deck.
See, I feel like Great Nature kind of got like shafted with new support because they were already fairly competitive, so they didn't really need that much. That's just my they didn't really need that much to be still better or as good as they were before.
So they just got crafty fun stuff as opposed to
they got some like competitive stuff, but it's mostly I think like fun stuff more so, because if they had gotten like the amount of good support that clans have gotten in tech boosters before, they would have been like really, really powerful.
So let's put it this way. They got a bunch of tech cards as opposed to new cards that you would tech into existing Great Nature decks as opposed to a new modality of playing.
Well, there's new modalities. They're just not as competitive or viable as what's out right now. Like the Hamscale line, for example. Also, this set did make the main grade 3 for the G era much more viable. Which brings me to the next card, Sage Saint Professor Big Belly. It's a counterblast 1. You choose a face down card named Sage Saint Professor Big Belly from your G zone and turn it face up. And then you choose one of your rear guards, and it gets plus 4,000 power for each face up card in your G zone. Which this is pretty broken because we have 16 card G zones now.
Yeah, you do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's already at Generation Break 2.
So it's super broken, just like Blizzard was broken, right?
And Blizzard still is broken the way that Cole was using it this weekend.
And then my X-Tiger right after that.
Okay. Anyways, so it gets plus 4K for each card face up in your G zone. And then you choose another one of your rear guards, or choose one of your units. And it gets, when this unit attack hits a Vanguard, choose up to the same number of other rear guards as the number of face up cards in your G zone and stand them. So basically, it's Dimension Police in Great Nature form.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is kind of like that Tiger dude.
Yeah, it's like Laurel, kind of. I would compare it to.
I don't know, who was that dude that got the 4,000 for all your face-up cards, Cole?
That would be
X-Tiger.
All right.
Well, Super Cosmic Hero X-Tiger.
Yeah.
All right.
And that's about it. Oh, I just wanted to mention the G Guard is real bad. Like, I'm gonna read it.
Oh, the G Guard for
Great
the
Nature.
Great Nature? What is it?
Well, like, first of all, the one that they got in the first Fighters collection was like so good compared to like the rest of, because it drew you a card. And then this one, it says, if I can find it, Head of Bastion Ardillo. When this unit's Ardillo. Yeah. When this unit is placed on Guardian Circle, choose any number of your rear guards and retire them. And then if the number of your open rear guards is 3 or more, this unit gets plus 10,000 power. So basically, you're retiring them when you'd rather keep them to use costs of others. But I do want to mention it's not as bad as I thought before, because I read it as when this unit is placed on Guardian Circle, choose 3 of your rear guards and retire them. And then, like, if you have 3 or more rear guards, so basically I was wrong. But it's
so if you actually retired a bunch of rear guards in the previous turn to pay costs for attacks,
you won't have these.
Then you're going to have the open space, and you just have to retire 1 rear guard.
Yeah, but like, yeah, I guess it's not actually that bad. Anyways, it's still not as good as the other one, though, in my opinion.
And actually, when it says choose any number of your rear guards, does 0 count as a number?
I believe so, yes.
I believe it does.
There you go. So all you need to have is basically 3 free rear guard spaces, and you're GTG.
So I guess it's good if you're playing against like clans that retire a lot. But other than that, I think it's definitely like, you definitely play it. It's just not as viable as some of the other ones. Anyways.
Yeah. So this program has mostly been a disaster. And
just like when your hands are a disaster.
Just like when you're playing Vanguard and you face a disaster because you can't ride.
Great segue.
What do, Cole?
You G-assist.
You don't sigh heavily. You G-assist. There you go. Conspirito.
You said half of the sentence.
No, don't lie to him.
No,
he was there.
No, I didn't. I seriously didn't.
He was all spirited. So our term of the week is G-assist, which is basically you are allowed to G-assist if it is your ride phase and you do not... Now, there was one of the conditions that I actually was not aware of that I probably have violated at some point in time. You can only G-assist if you do not have a card in your hand to ride with after you've drawn your card for your turn. That's number 1. Number 2, you cannot have a higher grade card in your hand than the one that you would stride with. So if you're G-assisting because you need to get a grade 2 to ride with, if you have a grade 3 in your hand, you can't G-assist.
Whoa!
I'm gonna look that up because I don't know if that's a thing.
What?
Why are you not believing me? Why can't I insert things for errata at later points in time?
We have a segment called Will's Errata for a reason.
Yes, of course. Let me read to you how it works.
But this is from it does say that on the wiki, but like I don't know.
Because it says you must not have any card in your hand that is a grade greater than your Vanguard. Oh, a grade greater than your Vanguard.
Yes. 1 grade greater.
All right. Insert errata here.
So can you go back and explain that more full? Because I'm still a little confused.
So if you're a grade 1, you can't have a grade 2 in your hand, but you can have a grade 3 in your hand because that's 2 grades greater.
Yes.
You just can't have anything that is a single grade greater than your current Vanguard.
Yes, it would be bad. This mechanic would be bad if it were that. Anyways.
Gotcha.
And you also cannot G-assist if you are at grade 3 already.
Yes.
So you can't G-assist to try to force a brake ride or a cross ride or a cross brake ride. And also, the other dealie, although this does make sense, is you have to have 2 or more cards in your G-zone.
Yeah.
So if you only have 1 card in your G-zone, no G-assist for you, brother.
Which I don't know how you've already gone through all of your G-zone by the time before you get to grade 3.
There's no requirement that you have any cards in your G-zone.
But there's no reason not to play a G-zone.
Well, I could tell you a great reason. You're broke, and you're new to the game.
But then you just play bad common ones, so you can still G-assist.
Yeah, but when I started, there weren't very many bad common gold paladins that were cheap.
Well,
yeah, Jack, Mr. Rich California living dude.
Yes, okay.
Also, what if you have to G-assist twice and you only had 2 cards in your G-zone because you're using a starter deck? Well, then you can't G zone. You can't G assist
If you
that
have
second
to
time.
G assist twice in one game, you should just quit because that's.
I believe Cole and I have both been in that situation.
Yep.
All right, how do you G assist? Number 1, you reveal your entire hand to your opponent to confirm for them that you do not have a card that is 1 grade higher than your current Vanguard in your hand. So that's your honesty thing. Once that they have seen your hand and agreed, yes, you do not have anything that is 1 grade higher than your current Vanguard, your hand returns to being private to you. So it's only temporary visible. After you've done that, you look at the top 5 cards from your deck, and from among them, you can, if you find a card that is 1 grade higher than your current Vanguard, you can put it into your hand. I believe, although from what I'm reading right here, it doesn't specify, you should indicate to your opponent that what card you pulled to show that you're being honest there. And you only have to put it in your hand. You do not have to ride it immediately.
But if you are G assistant, you don't really have to reveal it to them because that's the card you're going to be riding.
Yeah, but so, there's no requirement when you G assist that you ride that turn.
Yeah, but why would you not?
Because you're crafty. I don't know.
But then you wouldn't want to G assist then.
I'm just saying, G assist. You're not required to ride after you G assist. You're only. Either way, if you put a card into your hand, you have to take 2 cards from your hand and 2 cards from your G zone, and as we discussed in the errata at the beginning, all 4 of those become public knowledge. They are put into the exclusion zone where they cannot be used for anything in the rest of that game at all.
They're sent to the Shadow Realm.
We do not play that game. So also to be clear, if you are playing in a tournament and it's best of 3, it is only for that particular game that they're in the exclusion zone, and the next game that you play, you can put them back into their appropriate decks where they belong.
That's also a good joke, a best of 3 Vanguard tournament. Those don't
Jack,
exist.
Please text me your mother's phone number when we're done recording, because I need to have a conversation with her about how disappointed she needs to be. All right, also some clarifications. If you do not, if you look at the top 5 cards of your deck and you do not see a card that you can use to ride with, which does happen, you do not have to pay the cost for the G assist. You don't pull a card, you don't put a card in your hand, you don't pay the cost. And then this is the weird one for me, but when you remove the 2 cards from your hand, and also the 2 cards from your G zone, if that would only leave 1 card in your hand or 1 card in the G zone, you have to get rid of all of the cards. So
wait, what?
You can't be left with 1.
Why not?
We're gonna have to look this up for a clarification for next week, but that's what it says.
I think if you only have 1 card in your G zone, G assist, then
I
you
don't
have to
understand.
get it
That doesn't. Anyways, yes.
It's weird wording.
Let's just end this train wreck and we'll get back to it next.
All right, that's it for this week, folks. I will put out my standard plea to please review us in iTunes and give us some good feedback about how we can turn this train around back into express from the local crash into the river that it's currently become. Say thank you to SBJ and Nick Burgess Nick provided our music. And then if you want to reach us on Twitter, the easiest way is through the podcast, which is at drive_check. And you can reach me directly at Wash in the Sink. And Cole, you are at
Cole_.
Oh,
underscore
MCC. Of course
and,
you are.
And I am
you're at Cole_blank.
And I
Jack
am at drive_Jack. And I just want to let you all know that this quote that I picked for the outro for Cole to read is so much more ironic now than it was before we started recording. Take it away, Cole.
Thank you for listening to this.
Oh, that just killed me.
Is this
that
painful?
Just killed me.
It's painful, isn't it?
He can't even finish the quote. He can't even finish the quote.
It was. Is this painful? It's painful, isn't it? Haha, I'll make you feel more pain.
Oh boy. What card is that from?
Good night, everyone.
The music has already started playing. I can't hear you. What card is that from?